All right. So as we get started here on the Laws of Exponents Foldable, you're going to notice some terms on this foldable or the Laws of Exponents that you need to make sure that you understand the vocabulary of it. So that's why I put an example of a monomial right here on the whiteboard, okay? So what I have here is a monomial, 3x cubed. This is a monomial. We're going to learn how to add and subtract and multiply and divide this to each other. Adding and subtracting is just your combining like terms. But multiplying and dividing is where you're going to use those laws of exponents. So before we introduce those laws of exponents, you have to understand the vocabulary, the parts of a monomial. So let's look at this 3. This 3 is the number in front of the variable. This is called a coefficient. This is called a coefficient, the number in front of the variable. And then you have the variable itself. The variable or anything raised to a power is considered the base. So this x right here would be the base. Bases aren't always variables. Bases can be numbers as well. So you have the base. And then anytime you have the little number that's brought to the top right-hand side of any number or variable, this right here is called the power or the exponent. Okay, and so this is really what we're changing and working with these laws of exponents. How are we going to add and subtract and multiply and divide using these exponents? So we have our coefficient, our base, and our exponent. Okay, so now we're going to start our foldable. If you notice here, it says to fold your paper like a hot dog. Okay, so this is where we're at now. Fold your paper like a hot dog. Okay, so I'm going to take my paper, whether it be, you can have lined paper, you can have construction paper, it does not matter. Take it and you fold it like a hot dog. Well, hot dog, boop, folded like this, long ways, just like you're folding a hot dog bun. Okay. So what we did was folded it just like a hot dog. Here, just put your little hot dog in there and eat it. Okay, so now that we have our paper folded, then it says to make 6 cuts. Oops, sorry. Make 6 cuts to create 7 tabs in the front. So here we are. Here's a foldable, and here is that top flap. Ooh, here's the camera. Here's that top flap. This is the one we're going to cut, not the bottom. We're going to cut the top. And we're going to cut it 6 ways, meaning there's going to be 7 tabs. That's an odd number, so you're going to have 1 tab in the middle. So I prefer to just take and cut in the middle a tab. Okay, it could be big, it can be small. You're going to notice that there's no real, if you are very, OCD and you have to have them all the same size, use a ruler here to just kind of divide them up, whatever works for you. Okay, and then you're going to cut it 2 more times. So we have 1, 2 cuts. Here is 3, 4, and then we have 2 more on this side. 5, and 6. Okay, again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Here's what we have now. We have these little tabs. We have this little book with these tabs. This is our start of our foldable, okay? So now you have these tabs. They could be, like I said, if you want them all the same size, use a ruler, but it doesn't matter. The information is going to be the same. Okay, so there's 2 ways that you can do this. It says to write the following exponents down because I'm not going to expect anybody to have a printer. If you have a printer access, if you want to print out this page right here, and then that way, all you have to do is cut out your little box. Okay, this is, I'm just using the first. So I took the document that is posted here, and then I just cut this little out. The names or the title of each property, you can paste it right here in the front, just like that. So I would take my glue stick and then paste it right on the front. And then we're going to just do the inside flap. Remember, we're not going to do the examples today. Okay, so you could take the actual law itself, cut that out, and you can paste that part on the inside tab. So here's my law. Okay, here's my foldable. I got the name on the front, so I'm going to open that tab, and right behind that name is where I'm going to paste my law. Okay, and then we're going to save this space over here for those examples next class. Okay, so today we're just going to focus on getting these tabs completed. Okay, well, I'm not expecting you to have a printer to cut these out and to paste them on. So that is why you would need a writing utensil. Colored pencils are preferred. How do you print the page off of Schoology? If you have it right here pulled up as a document, when you click on the tab and it opens it up for you, you just push the little printer right here, or you can file and you can print, but you have to have a printer to print to. So I don't know which printer you would print to because I don't know if you have that access. But you don't have to print it. Like I said, you can just use a pen, a pencil. If you use pen, please be careful because you cannot erase pen. Or you can use colored pencils, and then you could just write it in. So the next one, and what I did for you guys cutting and pasting, I did the first one, the product to power rule. Multiply numbers, add exponents with the same base. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. You need to understand what the words exponents and base means and powers and all that stuff in order to understand these words. Okay, if you don't have a printer, it's okay, because next we're going to do power of power. So what I'm going to do on the front here is just write it in power of power. The power of a power. Okay, I just write it in. Okay, it doesn't have to be too pretty. It's just something for you to use whenever you're taking these tests and these quizzes and you're doing all this stuff in algebra. You can have this foldable here so you're not constantly flicking back and forth between tabs and pages. Okay, so you're going to open that tab, and right behind is where you're going to put the actual law itself. And in this particular case, in parentheses, you have an A to the M, close parentheses, and you're raising that parentheses to an N power, and that equals A to the M times N. So what this law is telling me right here is that if I have something raised to a power, one base, two powers, all I have to do is multiply those powers in order to get my answer. Okay, and we're going to learn more about these rules in algebra. Don't worry about that. Okay, so I just want you to fill out these front tabs. And if you want to go ahead and write down the words on this tab to help you out, go ahead, do that. So if you're printing and then you're pasting it, those words are there. So why not write them here? So it states when an exponent is raised to a power. So you would write when an exponent is raised to a power. Write it in. It's okay. Write it in if you don't have it to print off. There's nothing wrong with that. Multiply exponents. Okay, multiply exponents. And then you could do the little asterisk, you could leave it out. Whatever is going to help you remember this, you can write it all in, you could write just the law itself, it does not matter, okay? So what I want you to do for the next couple of minutes of class is I want you to finish filling out these front tabs. If you're copying and pasting, if you printed and you're cutting and pasting, well, then you have the rest of the powers. On this tab, here, you would have power of a product. On this one, you would have quotient of powers. Down here, power of the quotient. Down here, zero exponent, and the last one is your negative exponent. So today, your job is to complete these front tabs. The title or the name of the power or the rule here. And then on the back side of that tab, you're going to actually write in or paste the actual rule itself. So you were really just doing these first two columns today. And next class, we're going to do some examples that you can fill in on this side of it. So you can use this throughout the next couple of weeks in your algebra class. And this will be a grade in this class. So make sure that you are doing your foldable. So go ahead and take this time to finish up your foldable.